Hi everyone, and welcome to the first video of Loving Your Nervous System series. We're going to get straight into today's topic. It's a bit of an introduction, but it's also laying down some of the foundational concepts that I'm going to be referring to in other videos. So it's a great video to save and to come back to. So today's video is very much about cultivating awareness. Cultivating awareness so that we can actually start the healing process. We cannot heal, let go, or change something until we're first aware of it. Awareness is the first step. Cultivating awareness allows us to start to partner and befriend our nervous system so that we can start interrupting some of these patterns and programs that we have had unconsciously running for maybe 20 or 30 years or even longer. And these patterns and programs that are installed in our nervous system, at the time it was the best that we could do. It kept us safe to some degree and perhaps kept us from getting more hurt than what we could have. However, there comes a time where it's time to let these patterns go. They become a huge limitation. They impact our health. They impact our relationship with self, our relationship with others, and even with life. Because all of these past experiences that are stored in the nervous system, that are locked up in judgment, they build up filters that impact how we perceive life and can really distort our reality. And also this is what can perpetuate the continual activation of our nervous system into the defensive and protective patternings, because the nervous system is picking up threats that are no longer there. A lot of the times our nervous system is reacting to things from the past instead of reality, what things are actually happening here and now. So we're keeping it really simple. Like I said, we're going to be working with awareness today. And one of the ways I like to work with this is using the 3 nervous system states as delineated in the Polyvagal Framework. So the ladder here has the 3 different states. If we take a look at the top of the ladder, we have the ventral vagal, also known as the social engagement system. In many ways, this is the ideal state to be in. From this place, we are able to face stresses and challenges whilst remaining present with ourselves, connected and grounded in the here and now. We maintain conscious awareness. We don't lose conscious awareness like we do if the other 2 lower nervous system states take hold. So moving down the ladder, we have the fight or flight response. This is a sympathetic activation of the nervous system. It is a mobilization response, meaning whether it's movement towards or away from the perceived threat, there is some sort of action or activity. And then moving down the ladder to the dorsal vagal, also known as the freeze response. This is an immobilization response, a way to escape when there is no escape. So moving on, I have created a list. It doesn't cover everything. As mentioned, the purpose of this video is to cultivate more self-awareness. So just using this as an educational or reflective framework to just see what you relate with and perhaps getting a bit more understanding of what your nervous system state is and how it may move and change throughout the day. So if we have a look first of all at the freeze, the dorsal vagal. So as mentioned, this is an immobilization response. It's like a way to escape where there is no escape. And the way this may present or be experienced is feeling numb or lifeless, dissociated or withdrawn, feeling trapped or entombed, depression and hopelessness, lethargy and despondency. A lot of times, actually working with clients, sometimes the fatigue that we may be experiencing can actually be this freeze dorsal vagal state. So it could be experienced as a sense of defeat from within, loss of an inner spark. There can be a sense of stillness, but it's from a state of disconnect and separation. It's very different from when we talk about the social engagement state. We can experience stillness in that state, but it's completely different. It's a place from stillness from a place of connection, oneness, and unity, where things are alive in the stillness. It's much different from this freeze state, where the stillness is from separation and disconnect. It's like we have unplugged. In this state, you can also experience a sense of loneliness or abandonment, because in some ways we're not fully present with ourselves. We have disconnected in some capacity. So of course there is going to be some part of us that feels lonely or abandoned. So moving over to the middle column, we have the fight or flight, the sympathetic activation, a mobilization response. You may experience this as a sense of threat, feeling under pressure, a sense of urgency, a sense of striving. Busy being busy is a common one, how this may present. An inability to stop and be present with self. If you're one that gets up in the day and you're go, 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 even once you get home, you just go, go, go until you hit the bed again. That could potentially be a sign of this state, not necessarily. But how it also may present is fear, worry or panic, anger or aggression, people pleasing and inauthenticity. So this is where the fawn comes in, how this state is sometimes referred to as fight, flight or fawn. The fawn is the people pleasing, and I put it together with the inauthenticity, which people pleasing is being inauthentic, is essentially manipulating our environment to be perceived a certain way. In this state, there can also be defensiveness, and quite often people are quite easily offended, being a fragile ego. Self-righteousness or arrogance can also appear in this state, and very common is a need for control, any kind of controlling needs or patterning, because it's very much compensating for the chaotic and disorganized energy that can be associated and experienced with this state. Now moving on to the social engagement. So again, this is the ideal state to be in. In this state, you may experience a feeling of safety and security within yourself. You're able to face stresses and challenges whilst remaining present, because life isn't about never feeling stressed or experiencing challenges. In fact, we need to experience some degree of stress and challenge to grow and evolve. In fact, not having any stress or challenges, that can actually be why we end up in that freeze, disconnect state and the depression and hopelessness, because we're not challenging ourselves, we're not facing challenges. It's kind of a giving up. So moving on back to the ventral vagal, it's also a state where we remain connected, engaged with self, others and life. We're able to employ empathy and compassion. We're able to be open and receptive, and I'll just put here with appropriate boundaries, because it's not wise. Of course, it's not wise to be open and receptive to everything. Just being open and receptive to things that are actually good for us, that support our upliftment and our healing. And then moving on, we have authenticity without the coping mechanisms, the coping masks or substances. I put this in this because I remember learning about this earlier on and thinking, what's the social engagement state? yeah, I can be quite social, so I must be in this state. However, it wasn't necessarily from a place of being truly authentic and present within myself, so that doesn't actually count as this ventral vagal state. And so in this state, we're also able to connect with something greater than yourself. So this is a much more open and expansive state of being. The other two states are more insular and more about separation, protection and separation. So we in some ways are wanting to move from a state of protection, these two, the freeze and the fight or flight, into a state of connection, the ventral vagal. So that is all for today's video, keeping it simple. I hope you got something valuable after it, and stay tuned for more videos in the Loving Your Nervous System series. Thank you.